So another day, another series of tweets inciting hatred against Muslims from Elon Musk. Today he writes, could what happened to the Yazidi people one day happen to Europe? So he continues his fear-mongering against Muslims by mentioning this. What happened to the Yazidi people? The Yazidi people, an ethno-religious minority primarily located in northern Iraq, have faced significant persecution and violence, particularly highlighted by the events that transpired in 2014. So Elon Musk is now fear-mongering the people of Europe that they could be genocided. And of course, we know something that Islamophobes do is they try to conflate ISIS with actual Islam, which Muslims know is absolutely false. We are not from ISIS. We want nothing to do with ISIS. We want to be protected from ISIS. They cause more death and destruction to Muslims than anyone else. However, a saying comes to mind that a little bit of knowledge is dangerous. And I'm being very generous by saying a little bit of knowledge. Because if anybody even has the smallest amount of knowledge about what happened in Iraq that led to this situation, then you know that Elon Musk is shooting himself in the foot repeatedly. Because how did ISIS take foot in Iraq in the first place? It was, of course, the Western invasion of Iraq under false pretenses, mind you. I don't know what this Grok thing is that he's asking, but let's ask it some questions about the invasion of Iraq. How many people died as a result of the invasion of Iraq? Some estimate that the total violent death toll in Iraq since the US-led invasion was over 1.2 million. Some estimate the death toll to be at least 4.5 to 4.7 million. Now, of course, only Allah knows for sure how many people exactly died, were injured, suffered trauma. But imagine, as awful as it was also done under false pretenses. The United States invaded Iraq 20 years ago under false pretenses. Historians and social scientists have spent 2 decades investigating what went wrong. George W. Bush and other senior officials in his administration claimed former Iraqi President Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. They also claimed that the Iraqi government had ties to nefarious groups such as Al-Qaeda. Together, these two things posed an unacceptable threat to American security. See, that's how they get you. They fearmonger. Yet once the American-led coalition toppled the Iraqi regime in 2003, it quickly became evident that there were no weapons of mass destruction or active ties to Osama bin Laden. So not only did they fearmonger, but they fearmongered using misinformation. This is something we have already seen in our lifetime. So remember, the Iraqi regime was toppled in 2003. Now, ISIS was founded in 2013. The history of Iraq does not begin in 2013, nor does the interaction between Muslims and Yazidis. Despite various state sanctions in the Ottoman Empire, Yazidis historically have lived peacefully in proximity with their Sunni neighbors. Historically, many Yazidi families and individuals had voluntarily converted to Islam. In modern times, Yazidis face persecution particularly by ISIS. And we already talked about who is responsible for creating a situation that helped ISIS gain power in the first place. Before that, the article says what? Yazidis historically have lived peacefully in proximity with their Sunni neighbors. So unfortunately, the behavior that we see coming from Elon Musk is not only shameful and dishonest and dangerous, but it's very reminiscent of the propaganda that was happening post 9/11 that led to the invasion of Iraq under false pretenses, and therefore led to the exact same things that he is condemning and just trying to blame Muslims for. And this is one of the ways that they manufacture consent. Number one, they fearmonger. And then that fear-mongering leads to invasions and overthrowing of governments and war. And just yesterday, Elon Musk posted a poll questioning whether or not America should liberate the people of Britain from their tyrannical government. And this is the sort of dangerous, dishonest rhetoric that can lead to the deaths of millions of people. And after it's all said and done, those who go on to live afterwards might reflect and recognize, oh, all of that was done under false pretenses. But that isn't going to get those lives back. That isn't going to undo all of the suffering and trauma. But thankfully, there is a day of judgment where people will be held to account for everything that they did, and Allah knows every single thing that every single person has done. Allah knows best. Thank you for watching. May Allah protect us and guide us. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.